Good morning, everyone. It is Saturday, May 11th. And don't forget to wish your mother a happy Mother's Day tomorrow. That's right, it is Saturday morning, and we are going to go over the top stories of the week with the Blacklist XYZ for our weekly blunt wrap of what has been happening on the Blacklist here at High at 9 News. And starting off, our first story, as promised, could customized terpene formulas revolutionize personalized medicine? The Blacklist post states, with all the Schedule 3 talk, imagine a scenario where people could customize their own terpene formulas for infused products and or vapes based on their unique medical conditions. They say, are you struggling with chronic pain? Perhaps a blend of myrcene, beta-caryophyllene, and limonene could offer relief. Are you seeking relief from anxiety or depression? A combination of linalool and pinene might be the solution. Terpenes, the aromatic compounds found in plants, particularly cannabis, have garnered attention for their therapeutic potential. These compounds not only contribute to the distinct flavors and aromas of different strains, but also exhibit various medical properties, from anti-inflammatory and analgesic effects to mood enhancement and stress relief. Terpenes offer a diverse range of benefits. By harnessing the therapeutic potential of terpenes and tailoring their profiles to meet the unique needs of individuals, we can lock new possibilities for personalized medicine, said at the Tpine Warehouse. The concept of personalized terpene formulas holds tremendous promise for several reasons. Firstly, it acknowledges the fact that not all medical conditions are alike, and what works for one individual may not work for another. By tailoring terpene profiles to specific ailments, we can optimize efficiency and minimize potential side effects. Furthermore, personalized terpene formulas align with the growing trend towards holistic and integrative medicine. Rather than relying solely on conventional pharmaceuticals, people are increasingly seeking natural alternatives that address their unique needs. Customized terpene blends offer a natural plant-based approach to wellness that complements existing treatment modalities, and additionally, the ability to customize terpene formulas empowers patients to take an active role in their healthcare journey. In conclusion, the prospect of customizing terpene formulas specific to individual medical ailments represents a fascinating frontier in healthcare. And the source for this article is the Tpine Warehouse. And I find this extremely interesting, and I've always known that terpenes definitely help. I mean, otherwise, why would they have all those fancy, nice smells at spas and whatnot that just relax you and just sends your mind at ease? So I do think that there is some science here. But speaking of the science, there is someone that I have a prepared statement from that says that this is actually their technology that they have been working on. Patty O'Brien is a nurse with a pharmaceutical degree who has extensive experience in the cannabis industry, stemming over 24 years, starting as general house manager for a dispensary in Oakland in 1999. She has demonstrated a history of successful leadership that specifically incorporates medical approaches into the cannabis products and education. And as the visionary and founder of both dispensaries, Canna Oakland and Lemonade Antioch, Patty established the professional foundation as California's first nurse-owned and operated dispensary. Patty knew that there was a synergetic relationship between people and plants, and knowing that terpene concentrations exceeding 0.05%, terpenes enter the realm of pharmacological interest. At such concentrations, they are capable of protecting the human body against a variety of diseases, and multiple studies have illustrated their medical properties. Today, these studies represent a bright future for potential drug development. Patty's terpene-targeted therapies project was published in Terpene and Testing magazine back in 2018, and we have a picture right there so you guys can see that. And along with some of her clinical results, she developed several SKUs of products intended for terpene-targeted therapies with Steep Hill, Israel, and Ibana, Israel, in 2016 and 2017. Publications of her work started in late 2017 to current, and when Patty sold Canna Oakland to Acreage Holdings, all of the intellectual property of this project was was carved out and belongs only to her. Patty is currently releasing these products to market, or is in the works of releasing these products to market. So I did want to get that, set the record straight a little bit on that in regards to this. You know, we always want to make sure that we are bringing you exactly what is going on within the cannabis space here. And some of the best comments from this story. And again, if I do murder your Instagram name, I do apologize in advance. Damon Alex says, I can rock with that. Some folks don't always be wanting or needing to be high. Humboldt's Renegade Farm says terpenes and cannabinoids work best together to create the entourage effect. Terpenes alone just aren't as good medicinally as full spectrum cannabis. I agree with that. Symbioticsgenetics.eth says, wow, it's like they're thinking about the patient for once. And Glob Mob USA says, if they start spraying terps on rosin, I say we all riot. Random Rosin Papa says, isn't that just called aromatherapy? Little Hill Cultivator says aromatherapy is already a thing. And Polly Rang says, and then what? Add it to some distillate? To which Terpene Warehouse responded, exactly. Let's see. Green Eagle Technology says products for flavoring contaminated, low-quality weed. If it's not full spectrum, it's not real weed, and it's trash. The high is terrible every time. I personally agree with that statement. I'm not a big fan of artificial terpenes or whatnot, but nonetheless, everyone's different. Sofa King High 710 says, bad idea. People need to stop shortcutting and just try different strains. It's no different than trying different terpene mixes. Cam.dog.b says, I think the better question is, what if the weed was like how it used to be and we got high again? Man, that would be great, wouldn't it? Bumcat.grown says, no, just buy weed, damn it. No need to reinvent the wheel. If you can't find good enough herb, blame your plugs and grow your own. Kemp underscore hemp says, all big pharma growing Oreos and then terp infusing to the doctor's orders. Machiavelli 513 says, I bet you love the smell of your own farts. Maybe you could bottle that. Hia underscore farm says, no, just no. Grow better flower. And Sativa Bridge says, this is the new essential oil craze. East Coast Whale says, here's a better question. Do you actually think the DEA gives a damn about anyone's medical ailments? And finally, Stepervana says, what the F are you talking about? You know damn right that's not how it works. If myrcene alone worked like this, people would eat mangoes to sleep. That's not a thing. Well. Moving right along, we are going to move right into our second story of the day in the Blacklist XYZ Blunt Wrap of the Week. We have Arkansas State Police seize almost 900 pounds of illegal marijuana from I-40 traffic stop in the last 10 days, you guys. And Blacklist XYZ says, I-40 blowing up at the moment. Recent traffic stops on Interstate 40 in Arkansas led to major hauls of illegal narcotics by state police. Arkansas State Police officials said their Interstate Criminal Patrol ICP has seized 886 pounds of illegal marijuana, as well as one handgun in the past 10 days from I-40 traffic stops. On April 25th, Arkansas State Patrol officers said troopers stopped a tractor trailer hauling cars on I-40 in Lonoke County, and during the subsequent search, located 143 pounds of marijuana in one of the cars being transported. 4 days later, authorities said 120 pounds of illegal marijuana and a handgun were found during a traffic stop around 3 p.m. on eastbound I-40 in Lonoke County at the 175 mile marker. On April 30th, police said a third traffic stop around 7 a.m. on I-40 in Lenoke County led to confiscation of 31 pounds of illegal marijuana. And troopers said they seized 70 pounds of illegal marijuana during a Wednesday traffic stop at around 7:15 in the morning in Conway County. On Thursday, troopers said they began a traffic stop on a van in Lenoke County around 1:15 a.m. They said a search of the van led to the discovery of several boxes and suitcases containing a total of 222 pounds of marijuana. Authorities said an overnight traffic stop of a van on Friday at the 171-mile marker in Lenoke County led to the confiscation of 11 vacuum-sealed bags of marijuana weighing a total of 300 pounds. And it says that the source is a local Arkansas newspaper out of KARK.com, if you want to check it out. Well, there is a lot of buzz going on, and cannabis is still a Schedule I drug, and even if it's a Schedule III drug, it's still going to be illegal to be selling and moving around like this. So nothing is going to change in regards to that. There's just going to be more and more of the same, and people need to make sure that they're always looking in their rearview mirrors, apparently. But we're going to move right on into the comments of this story, you guys. Let's see. Pristine's _Dogtown line says, these cops are using new tech, probably x-rays, that show up organic material in your vehicles. Good luck and may God be with you. And there was a lot of people that had mentioned this type of technology in the chat. Philtography 420 had mentioned me personally, and I told him Philtography 420, we'll cover it in next week's Blacklist XYZ weekly blunt wrap, which we are doing now, so promises kept. OG Shade Ward says, okay, stay out of Lenoke County. Take Highway 64 West in Conway. Go around Lenoke County, pop out in Brinkley, and be safe crossing the bridge in West Memphis. Be blessed, drivers. Sounds like that's the route, huh? Deeds _Y says, how they fit 300 pounds in 11 vacuum seals. I had to ask myself that exact same question. I am wondering that as well. That is a lot of pounds to fit in just 11 vacuum seal bags. And death _before longboard says, out of state plates and you get pulled over automatically. SoCal _Bobby said, had to be the UPS driver and the FedEx drivers after breaking into boxes, allegedly. Oh, lots of jokes. Jake Brosen 25 says, OKC dirt packs removed off the streets. Ocean Grown Kushko says, Arkansas has its own YouTube channel, Catching Mules. This will be on there, so make sure you go and check it out. And Trevor Morgan 82 says, with an estimated street value of over $3.5 million, laughy faces. K-Dog Kevin says, so what we've learned, it's a roll of the dice. Win some, lose some. That is very, very true. And B. Mackey says, I don't see a single police patrol car in none of them pics. Just a bunch of degenerate road pirates, he says. Interesting take, you guys. Moving right along on this Saturday for you guys. Next story on this Blacklist XYZ weekly blunt wrap. Feds say proposed marijuana theme park was a scam and investors were duped for more than $600,000, you guys. Blacklist says nearly 24 investors were duped by a salesman widely optimistic promises about a marijuana theme park in Alaska, according to federal prosecutors. Those promises cost them more than $600,000. Brian Keith Cordy's proposed cannabis theme park resort, dubbed a Bud and Breakfast, caused 22 people to invest thousands of dollars into the venture, prosecutors said. Investors were misled into believing the resort would be located at a lodge Cordy had bought along with a highway near Salcha, about 30 miles drive southeast from Fairbanks in central Alaska, according to prosecutors. There, Cordy told investors that guests would enjoy a marijuana on the premises and gaze at the northern lights while staying overnight in rooms with glass ceilings, prosecutors said. Investors also believed cannabis would be grown, cultivated, and sold to consumers at the resort. Cordy promised the business would make millions of dollars yearly when it was up and running. According to prosecutors, he projected nearly $4 million in profits during the first year, more than $13 million in the second year, and more than $23 million in the third year, court documents state. In a quote, "It is unclear how anyone could project that a lodge selling rooms and marijuana in Salcha, Alaska could possibly generate the returns he promised," prosecutors wrote in the documents. To raise money, Cordy sold investors units of Ice Fog Holdings, LLC, a company purportedly created for medical and adult use marijuana production and sales, according to prosecutors. Ultimately, Cordy used the investors' money to pay off personal debt and refinance his house, according to prosecutors, and Cordy simply lived off of investor funds while continuing to lie to them, they wrote in a sentence memorandum. His scheme that spanned from 2017 to 2020 has now landed him in federal prison. A judge sentenced Cordy, 53, of Delta Junction, to 2 years in prison on May 3rd for a conspiracy to commit wire fraud after entering a guilty plea. He must also pay more than $580,000 in restitution, according to the prosecutors. And this is coming out of the Blacklist, and I believe also the Sacramento Bee originally covered this story as well. Well, I agree with something that the judges and the prosecutor stated, is that if anyone is trying to sell you an amusement park in Alaska for stoners, they have got to be trying to sell you also maybe some bridged property in Arizona or something like that, because this smells like a scam all the way from the beginning. But nonetheless, there were some great comments involved in this story. And Dabs Benedict says, "Why would you want to put that in Alaska? They got like a 2-month season. Should have been the first clue right there." Luke the Bad Kid 269 says, "Now a shroom theme park would be way cooler." I think that you were probably right. And with the theme of having the glass ceilings and whatnot for the Northern Lights, I think that would have been a cooler theme park. I'm with you, Luke. Let's see. Michael Radinati says, someone got sold a monorail. Well, or a bullet train or anything else like that. And Full Cart 12 says, theme park or bed and breakfast, the two are not in comparison. And So's High says, where are all these dumb investors when I need them? I'm asking the same question, bro. I am with you all the way on that. That is so true. Moving right along, we know you have a busy weekend, so we are going to get right into it. Now, this is a story that we did cover on High at 9 News. But I thought I wanted to make sure that we commented on some of these comments for you guys, because the DEA head, Ann Milligram, did not sign off on marijuana rescheduling document yet, she states. Blacklist XYZ says, on the next episode of Cannabis Rescheduling Drama, the leader of the marijuana prohibitionist organization that accurately predicted last week's cannabis rescheduling recommendation now says that sources inside the Drug Enforcement Administration are telling him that Ann Milligram, the agency's administrator, did not sign off on the landmark decision, in quotes. I can now say with full confidence that the administrator of the DEA, Ann Milligram, did not sign the rescheduling order, Kevin Sabet, president of the advocacy group Smart Approaches to Marijuana, better known as Project SAM, posted on social media on Monday, citing 2 confidential sources inside the DEA and another outside DEA with intimate knowledge. He said in a further statement relayed on the Drug Report, a news site published by the Foundation for Drug Policy Solutions, which was co-founded by Kevin Sabet, that says, in quotes, it's hard to overstate how deeply political and flawed this makes the rescheduling process look. If true, the significance of Sabet's claim that Milligram didn't sign off on the rescheduling decision isn't immediately clear. Asked one reply on social media, in quote, says, do you have confirmation this was done in protest or just that Ann Milligram wasn't the one to sign it? If Milligram did not, in fact, sign the reform document, it is also not clear who did. It could be the case that a lower-ranking DEA official is the signatory. Alternatively, it could be signed by U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland, perhaps signaling of how high a priority for the administration the marijuana move is. The next step is the rescheduling process would be for the White House Office of Management and Budget, better known as the OMB, to review the rule. If approved, it would go to the public comment before potentially being finalized. And DEA did not provide comment regarding Sabet's assertions. And this story was taken out from Marijuana Moment, you guys. And I personally hope that cannabis does not go to a Schedule 3. I'm fine with leaving it as a Schedule 1 until we get full descheduling, because that is the only true path forward for the cannabis industry as we all know it and accept it and work within it every day. So hopefully, ultimately, this is some kind of a wrench in the gears or whatnot. But ultimately, I don't think that it probably will be. She's probably just doing this to protect herself, protect her job, protect her integrity, and like, hey, I didn't do that. So then that way, if something goes bad, she can say, I'm not the fall girl. But nonetheless, we're going to keep this rolling right on into the comments, because Human Joshua says, is this so they can grow our weed in China now? Hey, who knows? Stranger things have happened, and the Chinese are growing a lot of weed, so who knows? Terp_time says, yo, whatever you believe, we can all agree that no one in Congress or the Senate, let alone the Supreme Court, has any idea or perspective for what they speak to be truth, because both parties getting bread on the kickback. Well. Hate It or Love It 22 says, wouldn't this be bad? 1 gram without a prescription will be a felony. No, in states that are not rec, of course. Well, yes, of course, that would be the case. You are exactly right. Hate It or Love It. Tricky_knees says, or Tricky_knees, must be waiting on a better offer from the lobbyists. Blue Tree Frog says, send in the lobbyists. Cash should do the trick. Government involved in cannabis is a bad idea, he says. Deschedulenow.org_pack says, how can anyone get fed with only crumbs of nothing burgers being offered? So true there, Deschedule Pack. Case Alexander says, Kevin Sabet put this news out to manipulate public markets, and he bragged about it afterwards. It's a nothing burger, he says. RGabe777 says, why is there women in power? Well, that's because we have this thing called the 19th Amendment. And Deminano.Blanco says, no one cares. It's in gas stations already. Very, very true. Grand Pablin says, A.Milligram of what? Coke? Question mark. That is really funny, you guys. That is very cute. And Milligram. And Pistol Pete Engineer says, good, deschedule or bust. Better yet, defund the DEA. And Sensi Heals says, the DEA should have no say in this matter. I totally agree with that. Without a doubt, I can get behind that. And our final story of the day, I know you guys have all been waiting for this. Man, oh man, oh man. And we do also want to thank the Blacklist. Some of the stories from today's post are coming directly from the just at Blacklist, in addition to at Blacklist XYZ. And they're talking about conversion leaders, and they want to ask, does your vape even have real weed inside of it anymore? Blacklist says, does your vape even have real weed in it anymore? Cannabis distillate is traditionally made through a process called short path distillation. This involves heating a mixture of cannabinoids and terpenes, better known as biomass, to vaporize them, then cooling and condensing the vapor to create a purified liquid. The result is a highly potent and concentrated form. Have some labs have eliminated biomass? Traditionally, biomass is used to make crude oil that is distilled into the oil that goes into your vape. Some extraction labs are reportedly making conversion leaders, thus eliminating the need for biomass. These leaders are not converted from Delta-8 or other similar cannabinoids, but from synthetic cannabinoids. Synthetic cannabinoids are man-made chemicals that are designed to mimic the effects of natural cannabinoids found in the cannabis plant, such as THC and CBD. These compounds can be much more potent than natural cannabinoids and can produce unpredictable and dangerous effects, including severe anxiety, hallucinations, or even psychosis. Additionally, synthetic cannabinoids have been associated with a higher risk of overdose and adverse reactions compared to natural cannabis. But when those synthetics show up in a COA, you'd be surprised. More on this to come. As always, be mindful of what you put into your lungs. And this is on the blacklist page. And this is just, man, I do know that there is a bunch of bad distillate on the market. That is for sure, whether it's a converted liter or, all of this stuff is just no good. That's why you got to be mindful of what type of products you're buying, everything like that. But I know it gets hard for lots of people that don't have access to cannabis to find quality products. So I do feel for a lot of people in this because it's a tough situation to be in, to need cannabis and not be able to access it. And there are a lot of people that are taking advantage of that by making these bad products with stuff like this. Catalyst CEO says, I've heard 20 to 30% from reliable sources or not. To which Pro-Pen official responded, that's right. Dr. Delta says, most likely not. And ATX 420 says, you mean to tell me my Mario Kart doesn't have real extract in it? Fuego Lady says, all the Cali vendors move conversions, zero morals out there. LOL. They all hawk the D-grade Cat 2 for a stack plus. For those of you that don't know what Cat 2 is, that's category 2 distillate. And Swimmin' Pro says, bro, no way my 6-gram cart is fake. Terpy Brazilian says, rosin carts or no carts? And Motion AI Worldwide says, make dank carts great again. Call me Vinny _ says, but bro said he's directly tapped with the source. Trust me, bro. It even has the UPC that traces to the website. Scan it. Trust me, bro. Hillbilly Hydro 704 says these California Chads and Chinese boof boys are making it so easy to sell good weed and resin nowadays. Y'all keep it up with the 1,000-pound a week greenhouse runs. More money for me. All us OGs growing the old school way, making more money than ever. It's almost as good as 2003 through 2010, he says. Alpha 3.5 says conversion oil gives you ED, and he's referring to erectile dysfunction. Casanova says hot dog water. Couldn't agree with you more. And Bella Corbry says conversion leaders messes with your cannabinoid receptors and gives you CHS quicker. Be careful and stay educated on CHS. Feels like death. Worst weed symptoms out. Heady Clock says, there's a special place in hell for everybody making fake products in mass amounts. And Kane is Evolving says, great question. I'm convinced it's Cresco. Woody.28 says, great legal dank vapes across America thanks to the parliament and the public, you guys. And Dios _ says, stop smoking distillates and smoke hash. Real effing hash. You can't fake the funk. My fave OG says, it's pretty sad. I've gone to sessions and even the people running it have trash products at their table. I asked for what their carts were, and they told me they're melted diamonds, you guys. Man, even the trap sessions are getting these low-grade products. Oh, man, back in the day, you could go to the trap session and actually get some good product, but now it just seems like you're getting more of the same that you would find at a gas station or anywhere else. And Rich Crook says, how would one know if they aren't there through the process? Which I kind of agree with, too. It can be extremely difficult for a consumer to know the difference between these types of things, and that's why we're going to keep doing these stories and these weekly blunt wraps to make sure that you stay high and highly involved in everything that is the developing cannabis industry. I hope you all have an amazing Saturday. I wish you all the fantastic weekend. Again, don't forget to call your moms. Tomorrow is Mother's Day, and we do want to give a thanks to everyone that is involved in the cannabis, and thank you all for commenting. Give us a lot of stuff to talk about and to think about, and hope you all have an amazing weekend. We'll see you next week.